Hello everybody, it's Helena Bird, and today I'm going to show you what I do with my Painty papers. I get a lot of questions about this on my channel, and so I've decided to do a few videos where I show people what I do with my Painty papers. And these ones, well, these ones particularly, are not even the most inspiring of my Painty papers. They're kind of things that I decided not to put any more layers on, even though I wasn't totally happy with it. Or I just cleaned off my gel plate, or I cleaned off my paintbrush. So there's things here where it's not that inspiring, but I'm still going to make something out of it. I'm going to cut to voiceover shortly. But before I do that, this is a reminder that even though you might not love a piece of paper on its own, although I do quite like this one. Let's find another one. This one, that's just kind of random clean-offs of my paintbrush. You can absolutely use this as art material. And the way in which we're going to do that today is we're going to play and we're going to make an abstract collage. I work a lot with the primaries, and that's why I've picked out a limited colour palette. So that's your first tip, is if you've got papers that you're not that enamoured with, just choose a limited colour palette and some monochrome to go with it. And it will get you a much more uniform and interesting result than if you pick lots of just random papers. Okay, now that you've had that top tip, let's cut to voiceover and let's see what we can create today with papers that I'm kind of about. Let's see what happens. So the very first thing I'm going to do is put down a foundation layer. All of this is instinctual. I don't have a plan. I'm just putting down all the different colours that I have and putting them in shapes that interest and please me. I've spoken in previous videos about how important layering is to my work. I see this very much as the foundation layer, and almost all of it might get covered over. I don't know. I might cover it with paper. I might cover it with paint. As it happens in this composition, I do stick to paper only, but I contemplated putting some paint on towards the end and resisted the urge because I just felt that I'd done enough on the composition. But if at any point there is a portion of my composition that I don't like, or that isn't pleasing me the way I thought it would, I can always either put a piece of paper over it or some acrylic paint over it, and it will disappear. And you'll see me do that with some paper towards the end of this video. When it comes to composition, one of the things that I don't pay as much attention to as I could is value. So the sort of tone of the papers, whether they're light, medium or dark. And one of the reasons I don't do that is because I'm a little bit lazy, and I just always make sure to include some monochrome colours. And I know as long as I've got monochrome in there somewhere, I've got both the lightest and darkest colours in the composition that I can have. So if, like me, you don't want to overthink value, you can always add some monochrome into the composition and use that as a guiding force as you're putting papers down. I should state that I do have a muse when it comes to compositions like this. I've mentioned this many times before on the channel, but I live near a lighthouse and the ocean. So the kind of round red shapes you're seeing are inspired by the lighthouse from different perspectives. If you view it from the top, you sort of get that ringed pattern you can see in the top right-hand corner. If you view it from the side, you can sort of get that semicircle of red that you see in the middle there. And the red shapes with the kind of cutouts are the kind of tiling around the base of the lighthouse. So I do have a muse, but I don't have a plan. I'm thinking about the shapes from that object that inspire me and the ocean that surrounds it as I'm composing. It's not a strict rule that I have to stick to those shapes and colours. It's just a guide. I do recommend having some kind of object or scene or colour scheme in mind when you're composing an abstract collage. And this is something that I talk a lot about on the course that I run, My Life is My Syllabus. The first 5 lessons of that are free if you join my community. And to be honest, you can get all the basic learning in those 5 free lessons. That's something that I made sure of when I structured the course. And the booster sessions that are for paid members of my Substack, those are kind of bonus material. So if you want some steer on composition, when it comes to using your life as inspiration, I can recommend just signing up for that 5 free lessons of My Life is My Syllabus, and it will take you through a lot of the ideas that I'm using in this composition. One of the things that I love to do is put text over the composition, and then in some places go over that text again with block color, which is what I'm doing with that black piece up at the top. That black piece is just the cutouts from the circles I cut out before. So it's basically a scrap piece of paper. And there is nothing that pleases me more than using what is essentially a scrap piece of paper in a collage. It's the kind of thing that just makes my heart sing. So I decided to go for a couple more dark pieces of blue. I'm tearing off the tape I put around the side. The tape is largely ornamental, just to give me a border if I decide I want one at the end, because I'm using paper, I'm not using paint. So I don't need to worry about really going over that border. I can always cut around it. I'm starting to get to a point where I'm pretty pleased with this composition, but I am not going to leave it whole. I love doing this. Have you ever done this? Using an old photo frame as a viewfinder and cutting something out of your composition and then making that your collage. There's something about that, and it's sort of the magic of masterboarding, isn't it? Where you create one big piece and then you cut smaller pieces out of it, and it just looks so much different to how it did before. Luckily, there was another piece of equal size that I could cut out, and I also loved that composition. And I'm left with this leftover piece that I'm going to use as the start of a new collage. And I will do a future video where I use that specific piece as the start of a new collage and see what other composition I can get out of that. My point is that you can have these leftover pieces once you've cut out your 2 key compositions that you like best. And then you can use that as the start of a new collage, which is what I will do. I decided to go in with some mark making, and it was a hot day. This white pen was not playing ball at all. So off camera, I just went over the lines I created with a Posca pen. Sometimes your materials just don't do what you want them to do, or indeed what they're expected to do. And this is just a reminder that there are ways around that. You can always go over it if you want to. I am just enjoying making some lines on this, to be honest. It's not really necessary. And I always think it's just a kind of Zen thing to do at the end of a collage, is to make some marks on it, and some marks that please you. I'm going to do some more videos about mark making in the future of this channel, because I've come a long way with my mark making since I started doing it. But a few finishing touches, because look, I just can't help myself but to add a few more dots. And that to me is 2 lovely finished compositions. I just decided to add one last piece of red paper on that left-hand one, because actually the marks that I made, I didn't love. The white pen, again, just wasn't playing ball. And so I decided to cover it over with a red circle of paper. And look how that changes the composition. So my point here is that an accident can actually be a good thing. Something that doesn't work out well as you thought it was going to can lead you to cover that over with something that completely changes the look of the composition. These 2 are going to go in my sketchbook. I like them so much, so that I can keep them and probably scan them and maybe add them to future projects, be it on my Substack or in some books that I'm compiling of my artwork, inspired by the location where I live and the area around me. I hope you found this video helpful. These were made from papers that I just thought were pretty mediocre. I hadn't bothered to put more layers on them. I just got a bit lazy about getting around to that, because once I've got some superstar papers from a Painty paper session, I tend to forget about the things where I've just cleaned off my gel plate or cleaned off my paintbrush. And I still have a whole stack of papers that I think are kind of okay, that I'm going to go through and make some more abstract collages with. And seeing these 2 finished, I really can't wait to get started with that. That's it for today's video. I really hope it's been inspiring for you, and please do let me know in the comments if you're going to try this, and if you do try it, you can contact me via my Substack to show me the pictures. I would love to see them. There'll be another video along soon, because there always is. Until then, take care and I'll see you next time.